Good morning. If you don't know me already, my name is Alex Hausman. I'm a senior at Grand Haven High School. Now, I would start my sermon with a witty quote, or maybe a clever metaphor, but as the French philosopher Voltaire said, a witty saying proves nothing. So, you're going to have to take my word for it when I say that the sun comes up in the morning. I know, it's very scientific stuff. I mean, whether you or I like it or not, it always rises in the east and sets in the west, unless you're on Mercury, of course. This realization has been formed not in a light bulb moment, nor the thunderous voice of God, but it has been a constant in all of our lives. I draw a lot of my endurance from the book of Job. Job was a man from the land of Uz, I believe it's pronounced, which is supposedly between the Euphrates River and the Lebanese mountains, and it's in relation to the kingdom of Edom. Now, this isn't the way back. He was alive roughly during the time of Abraham, so he is one of the oldies of the Bible. Now, he was a very wealthy man. He had roughly 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 oxen teams, and 500 female donkeys. So he was very well off. And just as well off as he is, he was not, I'm guessing, probably not prepared for what God had in store for him. Now, if you've ever read the book of Job, then you should know that one day Satan appeared to God, and God was like, "Where are you? Where'd you been doing all this time?" And Satan said, "I've been wandering amongst the land, looking at the people." And God said, "Cool, you must have seen Job. Job is a really great guy." And Satan said, "Yeah, but I bet that's because he's rich and well off. I bet as soon as someone takes that away from him, he'll just give up and go." And God said, "Do you want to bet?" And so God said, "You can take his wealth, his health, everything away from him but his life, and then we'll really see who is right." And so because of this, Job was a man who has seen all forms of tragedy, from disease to death, yet he still remained faithful. Job, in my opinion, is the strongest character in the Bible, because Satan threw everything he had at Job, yet he remained firm. Although I believe one of Job, he said that even though he has remained faithful, he still has his right to complain, and that echoes with me a lot. Job simply carried on, and we too must live like Job. Although our lives might not be as extreme as his, we all experience tragedy akin to his, and in order to prove this, I will be using my life as an example. Just like Job, I too was afflicted with a plague of sorts. When I was in the 6th grade, I was diagnosed with type 1 juvenile diabetes. My life flipped upside down. Everything changed. My day-to-day routine was forever altered, and I had to sit through days and days of classes and simply to learn how to live again, what to eat, how to eat. I need to check my blood sugar every day. I need to go to the doctors every 3 months, and I need to check my blood sugar, go to bed. If I go low, what do I do? If my blood sugars go high, what do I do? I had to relearn effectively how to live my life. Now, one would think that being diagnosed with a sometimes terminal illness, diabetes is nicknamed the silent killer for a reason. One would think that at the age of 11, it would have changed me, it would have wrecked me. But to me, the diagnosis was no more than a bump in the road. I knew that God was watching over me. The sun would rise in the morning, just as it always had. And life would continue. But more importantly, the S-O-N, I hope you guys have appreciated my pun, that the sun would not leave my side. Unfortunately, like Job, I too have experienced death as well. When I was 9 years old, I had my first real experience with death. I lost my dad's mom, my Grandma Sue. She was a major figure in my life. She was a kind soul who always made sure that everyone was happy and their bellies full of food. When I finally had begun recovering from that, I lost another major figure in my life. It was my great-grandpa Ben. He was the reason that I was in Boy Scouts for so long, and my original motivation for studying history, which is probably what I'm going to major in college. his loss was equally devastating. So just like Job, I too have felt death sting, although not at quite the level that he felt it of losing his entire family and all of his servants and all of his animals. My most recent life-altering event that has affected me deeply was on my 16th birthday. My Grandpa Rick, who has been for the longest time my best friend, and still is, of course, had both a heart attack and a stroke while we were out for ice cream for my birthday. Thankfully, he made it out alive and is thriving currently. The damage still remains, and he faces even harder challenges than I do. Although there are plenty of hard times that everyone faces, some of the most difficult challenges come in the form of day-to-day life. One that I face that I'm sure almost all of you can relate to is I'm going off to college in a handful of months. As daunting as that is, getting there seems to be the hardest part. Taking AP classes, applying for scholarships, having a job, participating in extracurricular activities monopolizes my time. When it comes to write 6 essays all within the span of 3 days, it really begins to add up. I mean, every day we all face challenges, new jobs, new schools, and new people. Our daily challenges may not, again, be as extreme as Job's, but no matter what challenges we face, we must keep in mind that the sun always comes up in the morning. And what I mean by that is that when the dust has settled and the day is done, Jesus and God will be there with you. He didn't even leave. No matter how far you have fallen in your faith or just how far away you've become, he's still there. I mean, when the sun goes down at night, it's not gone. It's really not. It's still there. And no matter what happens, we must realize that we must handle these challenges with grace and dignity, just like Job did. Although he complained, although he was upset, understandably so, he still remained faithful. He still remained strong. And he understood that no matter what happens, whether I like it, whether we like it or not, sometimes I don't want the sun to come up in the morning. It does regardless, and God will be there. And just like he always has been and always will be. Thank you.